George H.W. Bush was known as the last foreign policy president. During his one term in the White House, he saw the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Soviet Union crumble. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reports from the State Department. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. George Bush Sr. was the last person elected president with any prior foreign policy experience. He entered the White House with one of the most impressive resumes and left with an impressive list of achievements.
I, George Bush, do solemnly swear.
George H.W. Bush will forever be remembered as president and a lifelong public servant. Bush was the last president to fight in World War II. The son of a senator, the native New Englander was the man with the golden resume who rose through the political ranks.
George Bush, the man for the United States Senate.
Despite losing his race for Senate in 1964, Bush was elected congressman 2 years later. In 1971, President Richard Nixon appointed him ambassador to the UN. Despite voicing differences with China's communist government, Bush advocated for friendly relations. He would later serve as envoy to China under Gerald Ford. That made an impression on the Chinese people. This man praises George H.W. Bush and credits him with improving ties. Bush would go on to serve as director of the CIA, all valuable experience that helped him get on Ronald Reagan's ticket as vice president. His foreign policy experience served him well as president. Bush led the country at a time of great global change, including the fall of the Berlin Wall, the end of the Cold War, and the invasion of Kuwait by Saddam Hussein. During the Iraq crisis of 1990 to 91, President Bush built a coalition to push Saddam out of Kuwait. He lost his second bid for president to Bill Clinton, but they would go on to become friends, working for charities that serve the poor around the world. As the nation mourns his loss, he leaves behind a rich legacy of public service. President Bush was known for carefully planning what action he would take before making a decision on key issues like liberating Kuwait. Bush would also go on to write in his diary, "I hope I'm seen as steady, prudent, and able." Lauren?
President Bush faced, I remember, enormous pressure when it came to all of these global issues. But he often seemed humble, and I know it was important for him to be that way.
Yes, Lauren, President Bush is often described as prudent, and even through tough campaigns like against Ronald Reagan in 1980, he made it a point not to attack his family for political gain. In more recent years, of course, Bush is remembered for spending his time volunteering. Lauren?
Wouldn't be prudent. That was part of an SNL skit that went down in history. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from the State Department. Thank you, Wyatt.